In the mountains near a village in southern Algeria, there lived a Marabou, hermit, saint. Everyone loved him and honored him for his piety and great kindness. He prayed all day long, and even at night by the light of the moon, one could see him praying. Always he was going through his amber rosary beads and thinking about good and
Hmm.
evil. Many came to this man for wise counsel. One day, while the saint was praying, sitting as usual on his mat, a rich lord, accompanied by his squire, approached him. He came to ask how to protect his vast and bountiful lands from the frequent raids of enemies. The wise Marabou listened to him and promised to help. The old man descended from the mountain on which he lived into the valley. There trees grew in abundance, flowers bloomed, springs flowed, and birds sang. Marabou went to ask the inhabitants of this marvelous land to help the man who was suffering from the raids of enemies. But the people did not heed the request of the holy elder. They themselves were not in danger. They had peace and prosperity. Offended by the denial of support, the Lord who came to the Marabou went out alone with his few troops against the enemies. And alas, he was defeated. The old Marabou's anger knew no bounds. With a staff in his hand, he left the fertile land, cursed this people who did not want to come to the aid of man. Marabou inflicted misfortunes on their fertile land, and it gradually became dead and barren. The rivers dried up, the trees withered, the beautiful flowers and shrubs in the gardens wilted. Nothing remained but weedy dry grass, which the wind picked up and carried far away. From that time on, there were no more trees, no more green, no more water, and no more freshness. The whole land became deserted and bare, and they called it Sahara. But the Almighty felt pity for this devastated land. He breathed on the rose petals and created oases from them. Only their fresh water flows and palm trees provide welcome shade to the poor inhabitants of the desert once so rich.